Hi, good morning guys. Just me today. Charlie's at school, Claire's at home working. As we've got no football this weekend, Coventry are away at Blackpool and we're not going. I thought I'd bring you somewhere a bit different, somewhere we've not been before. I've been a few times, but not for a few years. I can't turn the camera around, so you'll see in a minute, but based just by the Coventry airport, we have an air museum right on the doorstep, so I'll take you around there and we'll have a look around at all the planes that are around there. So join me. Right, so as I say, this is right on the edge of Coventry Airport, very rarely used anymore, Coventry Airport. We have a Midland Air Museum, and you can see there, one of the planes is a Vulcan bomber from many years ago. So we're going to have a look around and see what else is in there. Small display on Concorde. Aviation in the 70s and 80s. Going back to the 50s and the 60s. It's a Rolls-Royce engine. This was an old Harrier jump jet. I think they've just taken the cockpit from that. There are more planes over the back, so we'll try and get around there in a bit.
Too much ingrained in their recip engines, and my model didn't work sufficiently good.
Heinkel's company was attractive for another reason.
The whole development was very inexpensive, but when we would have asked for more money, we would have gotten it. So money was not a problem.
By contrast, the power jet's kitty was empty. As the Nazi threat grew, Whittle had a war winner, yet Britain was set to abandon.
This is the first static display of the aeroplanes inside. You go through a bit about Sir Frank Whittle, who was from Coventry, I think invented the jet engine. And then you come through into this area. A few static bits of aeroplanes. I think that's a Gloucester, I think that one. Could be wrong. There's more planes outside. Lots of models. I think you can buy models in the shop as well as you come in. So it's £8.50 for adults. I think they do a family ticket for 2 adults, 2 children. It's around about £22, £22.50 I think. Up there into the cockpit. This was an English electric Canberra. Small display on Concorde. Aviation in the 70s and 80s. Going back to the 50s and the 60s. It's a Rolls-Royce engine. This was an old Harrier jump jet. I think they've just taken the cockpit from that. There are more planes over the back, so we'll try and get around there in a bit. Okay, so we stepped outside now. So there's a few jets outside and you can see through to Coventry Airport from what flights flying out of there at the moment. They're very small amount of flights out there. They used to have flights all over Europe going from Coventry Airport, but they stopped it probably around about 10-12 years ago, I think. So there's no longer major flights out of there, it's just local flights, little Cessna airplanes, things like that, just pleasure flights around Coventry. It's good, somewhere good to bring the family. The little ones will enjoy this, seeing all the planes from back in the day. This one's another Canberra from around 1950. Got some Jeeps over the back there as well. Quite quiet at this time of the year, thankfully, so you can get a good look around and see everything at your own pace. You're not rushed. That one is a Dassault Mystery from around 1952. Flew at a maximum speed of 696 miles an hour with a range of 820 miles. It's even got the pilot's name on the side of that one. Flight Lieutenant Sutton, by the looks of it. That was an electric Lightning from the 1960s. Maximum speed was 1500 miles an hour, which is pretty quick. Some Jeeps, as I say. There's an old Land Rover over there. It's a de Havilland Beaver. 225 miles an hour with a range of 1250 kilometres. This is a North American F100D from around 1953. A few over the back there as well. I don't know if we can get around there, but we'll have a look. Royal Canadian Air Force. So this plane is a McDonnell Voodoo trainer fighter. Flew at a maximum speed of 1200 miles an hour. So again, fast jet. So these planes have been here for quite a while, so parked outside for a number of years. So they have seen better days, but it's nice to see the history. The road that runs around the back there, where you've seen that lorry, I think it's, I can't remember the name of the road, but it runs down to the A45, A46 interchange that goes through Coventry. Oh, there's a plane just taking off from Baginton Airport in the background. That's a Percival Prentice from 1948. They do a lot of restoration work here as well to restore the aeroplanes. They do bring some new or newer models in every now and again and restore them and put them out on display. This is a de Havilland. Oh, you've got my fingers in there, apologies. That's a de Havilland Dove. That's one of the restoration projects they were looking at doing, but not too sure what's happening there. Wider view. We came out of that building ahead and we've walked around the loop here. Your plane's this side. There's a few more over the back there. I think there's a big transport plane. That's where the Vulcan is over the back there, so we'll take you around there as well. This one's a TS11 from Poland, around 1960s. Maximum speed 447 miles an hour. So you just see through there to the airport, Coventry Airport, Baginton Airport as it's also known. I don't know if you can see that, but helicopter flying over the top of the airport. That's a McDonnell Phantom from 1958. Maximum speed of 1600 miles an hour. Wingspan on that one was 38 feet and weighed 58,000 pounds. I presume that's all the bombs it's carrying as well. Another US Air Force one here. This one's a North American F-86A Sabre from 1948, single seat fighter. Maximum speed around 679 miles an hour. You see through there to the airport, to Coventry Airport. Small plane in the background. This one's a, forgive my pronunciation, Mikoyan Gurevich from Russia in the 1960s. Each of the displays have got a plaque telling you what the aeroplane is. Obviously some are more readable than others, that's about as best as I can get. There is a rope preventing people going any further closer to the airplane, so. Helicopter. So they are static displays, so you can get to some of them, not so many outside, but more of the internal ones. You can look at the cockpit, but it's just outside of the aeroplanes and helicopters here. That's a MIL Mi-24D, an attack helicopter and troop carrier. This one's a Fairy Gannet from the UK 1955 three-seat naval anti-submarine torpedo bomber and training aircraft. Maximum speed was around about 300 miles an hour. It's with the Royal Navy 737 Squadron back in the day. Oh, there's a plane taking off from Baginton in the background. This one is a de Havilland Sea Vixen from the UK, 1951, two-seater carrier, all-weather fighter. Maximum speed of 645 miles an hour. There's the Vulcan bomber around there. We'll just go and have a look at that. Looks like they're doing some work to the undercarriage. So I don't know how close we'll get to that. We'll see. It's a Sea Harrier from the 1980s. One Rolls-Royce Pegasus engine. 736 miles an hour. That's a Hawker Seahawk from the 1940s. So some of these are under restoration. I think that one's under restoration. This is a Gloucester Javelin from the 1950s, a 2-seat all-weather fighter. Maximum speed of 680 miles an hour. I think that's that one actually. My apologies. This is a Hawker Hunter from the 1950s. Maximum speed 710 miles an hour. This is a big Eland transport plane. Four engines on this one. Looks like we might be able to get into this. I don't know if it's blocked off. We'll go and have a look. Unfortunately we can't get in because they're doing some work in there, but it's an Armstrong Whitworth Argosy from the 1958-59 cargo plane and general transport aircraft with 4 Rolls-Royce engines. That's a Volkswagen Caddy. That's not going to fly very far. This is the main thing here. It's the Vulcan bomber. It's one of the last ones to fly. Obviously been static for a number of years now. And all the Vulcans have stopped flying now, unfortunately. That's a Bolton Paul from 1950s. One single-seat delta wing research aircraft. XL 360. A bit about the aeroplane. Acquired in January 1983. I've been sat here forever since then, I think. For everyone to view, you can go up to the cockpit, but not today. Up there. Though you can't see an awful lot because it's a bit dark. Hold on. No, you're not going to see much today, unfortunately, because it's too dark. But there's a seat right up there. Okay, so I was fortunate enough to get into the cockpit of the Vulcan bomber. Very tight in there, but an amazing sight. I did take some pictures, so I'll try and insert them as well, so you can all see. But yeah, the guy who gave me a bit of a talk about the cockpit and the missions that were undertaken was very knowledgeable. So I'd encourage everybody, whether local or anywhere up and down the country, or even if you're visiting from another country, to get the opportunity, come here, take a look. It's all run by volunteers, so if we can get the numbers up, they could perhaps add to these aircraft, restore a few more. But yeah, it's been a great morning. Right, but back inside, we come back inside into the hangar before we depart. So just the last few bits before we leave. The cockpit there, you can see inside. Actually, I'll climb the stairs. You can climb the stairs so you can have a look in. Lockheed T-33, also known as the T-Bird. Some bits about the Falklands War. Some more models. They do sell quite a few models in the gift shop at the end. Ascension Island. This is all about the Vulcan and the Vulcan going to the Falklands War. The gentleman I just met in the Vulcan bomber was very knowledgeable about the missions for the Falklands War. Just come across this piece about a gentleman called Rodney Dryland, who was a Coventry-born test pilot. Whole section on Mr. Dryland, including some pictures and models and charts. Okay guys, so hope you enjoyed the look around the Midland Air Museum. Lots of things in there for all sorts of ages, a lot of historical things. So you can bring your children, grandchildren, and show them what things were like back in the day during the wars. Planes from Second World War, even some from before then. So definitely worth a view and visit and look around. You will really enjoy it. As I say, it was £8.50 for an adult, and I think for a family of 2 adults, 2 children, it's around about £22.50. So I'd highly recommend doing it. It's not too far outside of Coventry. It's actually just off the A45, coming through the Coventry area, heading towards Birmingham or heading backwards towards the Northampton area. So only sort of half an hour, 40 minutes from Birmingham, 45 minutes from Northampton, and probably around about 90 minutes at most from London. So definitely worth a visit. And yeah, you spend a few hours here and you'll go away with a fantastic amount of knowledge and get to see what happened back in the day in these planes and a bit of history. The gentleman I spoke to in the Vulcan was amazing, telling me all about the missions that they were doing in the Vulcan back in the day. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a bit of a longer video, but hopefully you stayed with us right till the end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions and the comments that I've had over the last few weeks. Really do appreciate it. And although we've got no football tomorrow, for Charlie and I, we'll be watching or listening on the radio maybe. But enjoy your weekend. Please like, comment and subscribe on the video and play up Sky Blues. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.